Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show and good morning. And it is, of course, match day, which means, of course, on the Just Joe Football Show, you get your match day preview on the day of the game. You might be on the way to the game, you might be chilling, getting the match day vibes, getting excited because, of course, it's Saturday, it's Premier League, there is loads on offer. And, of course, the Mighty Whites are playing away at Brighton, at the Amex. It's going to be a tough fixture, but we will discuss all that right here, right now. Make sure you get your comments in. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. I will be back live later on at 2:30, of course, doing a watch along for the game. But this is your Brighton preview. Let's get into it.
I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Yeah, as it says on the intro there, keep it locked because obviously match day is jam-packed on my channel. You have your preview on the morning, you have your watch along, and of course I'll be doing a match reaction as well. But yeah, Brighton and Hove Albion, Graham Potter's Brighton and Hove Albion. It is going to be a tough fixture. Let's not beat around the bush. I've given many a praise before in the past to Graham Potter, and I even suggested that we would take him after Bielsa, and I remember getting shot down over it. I think the general footballing opinion has changed on him now, for sure. I think he's a top coach and someone that will have a plan to deal with Leeds United. I did tweet out yesterday his press conference. He was gushing towards Leeds, full of praise for Jesse, for Bielsa, for Leeds United as a whole. Yeah, he's a top guy. He's Graham Potter, and I believe he went to uni in Leeds as well. So maybe he's got a little bit of affinity there with the city and the football club. Jack said he'd snap your hands off for a draw. I can't lie to you, I'm on that. Tashani says I'll take a draw, but don't feel. What does that mean? Don't feel. I don't know what that means. We will go through some of the main talking points. Brighton are undefeated at the Amex Stadium now for 5 games, so they haven't lost at home for 5 games, winning 2 and drawing 3 of them. They have an undefeated start to the season, much like us. I believe they're on the exact same points as us. They started the campaign with a win against Manchester United, which, okay, it's not amazing, but it's still something. I mean, I think it was the first time in their history that they've gone to Old Trafford and beaten Manchester United. It is, I know. I mean, they've changed now, haven't they? Maybe it is an easy place to go on the opening day with the situation they found themselves in. They then drew at home against Newcastle. Now, Newcastle are flying themselves this season. They're also undefeated. I mean, they drew with Man City last week 3 apiece and looked very, very good to Newcastle and easily brushed Nottingham Forest aside on the opening day. So that's a great result as well. And then they've gone down to London and beaten West Ham 2-0, which on the face of it looks like a great result. But West Ham have never, ever beaten Brighton in the Premier League. So they've got a little bit of a hoodoo over them. But that means nothing. I mean, for me, Brighton are a top side. I think they had their highest ever Premier League finish last season under Potter, and you know the transfer policy there, the recruitment, it's exceptional. They've got a great coach, and as I said, they are a top side. In their last 8 home victories as well, they have netted twice or more. So that's something to consider. I am going for a score draw just to sort of put that out for you. I do think a draw would be a great result as well, and we'll get on to that. Now, in more recent times, they've actually kept a clean sheet against us on 3 occasions. So since our return to the Premier League, we've not scored down at the Amex. You know, it's not something we've been able to do. Now, as much as I love Bielsa, Graham Potter had his number. Graham Potter had his number. And the great thing is about Graham Potter as a coach, like I look at other coaches and they have their style and they try and imprint their style on the game, right? So Bielsa, it was plan A and plan A better if plan A isn't working, you know. Some of the top teams obviously can just continue to put out their style because, you know, they have elite players and elite chance creators and elite finishers, so they can just continue to do that. But a team like ourselves, or, you know, especially under Bielsa, that maybe don't have them elite players at the time, Graham Potter, the great thing about him is he sort of comes up with a plan to play against the opposition. Yeah, he's not afraid to change it in game. He's very tactically astute. If you just look at the performance against Manchester United, he was aware of how Man United were going to come into the game, knowing Ten Hag's style of play, and he just hit it long. He just hit it long up to Danny Welbeck, who, by the way, has had a great start to the season. I know I see a lot of the comments throw shade at players that don't score a lot of goals, but as we've mentioned many a time, and I don't want to go over it, you know, there's so much more sometimes needed from your number 9 than just goals. I know that might sound a bit out there, but if we look at Danny Welbeck, for example, he's played 3 games, played 3 full 90 games, and has only got 1 assist. But he's been a standout within that Brighton side, you know, because he's able to hold up the ball, stretch the play, and bring others into play. And I expect Graham Potter, it will be interesting to see how they go about it, because if Leeds United do go with that high-octane press, that situational press, you know, that vertical press that we like to do, it will be interesting to see what they do. I think they will just get it up to Danny Welbeck, and then he will try to bring others into play. We'll have to wait and see. I was listening to the Square Ball yesterday as well, though, and they made a great point that, you know, with Leeds United under Bielsa, obviously we were pretty heavy on the wings and tried to create chances from there, and we would sort of be isolated in there, and we would just end up pumping long balls into the box. And of course, when you have centre backs that are like Lewis Dunk and Adam Webster, it was, you know, meat and dinner for them. They were just bang, yeah, we'll have that. Bang, we'll have that. You know, easy peasy. Whereas it might be a bigger challenge for them with us being so narrow and trying to play through the centre. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. I'm really excited for what I consider will be a very, very good game of football. I do think it will be a very, very good game of football, and you've got 2 great coaches there for me. And, you know, you can tell that my opinion has massively changed on Jesse Marsh. You know, I think he's great, and Graham Potter did as well. You know, he was very, very glowing towards him. Now, they're actually, even as I said, we've played them 3 times now. In the 4 times in the Premier League. Yeah, 4 times in the Premier League, and they've had, you know, 3 clean sheets in that time. Now, even if we go back to the Championship, as I say, they're actually unbeaten in their last 6 home meetings against us. And I hate to say it again, they kept a clean sheet in all 6 of them games. So even when we go back to the Championship, they were still had a very good record there. I think the last time we beat them would have been that Chris Wood goal under Gary Monk, that late header, I believe. That would have been the last time we've beaten Brighton, which is quite some time ago now. So we do need to change them fortunes, and I am expecting a change of fortunes. If I'm being totally honest, I do think we will have a better chance under Jesse Marsh with this style than we ever did under Bielsa. And you know that's difficult for me to say. But as I continue to say, Graham Potter, you know, has his number, or had his number. With regards to some of the players as well, you know, for Brighton, that for me we need to watch out for. I will share with you their predicted lineup. As I say, it has remained unchanged. Brighton have remained unchanged throughout the full season. Obviously, he has used substitutes, of course he has, but it's been this same starting 11 throughout the 3 games that they've played. Now, for me, Robert Sanchez is a top goalkeeper. He's in my FPL. He's a great keeper, and to be honest, I don't believe in the 3 games they have faced a lot of shots on goal. Like the XG against is pretty good in terms of Brighton's backline. Of course, we know Adam Webster, Lewis Dunk, very, very strong. Moses Caicedo, top player. This is the thing with Brighton's recruitment. They just seem to get it bang on every single time. And, you know, I think he's touted for some big clubs already. So Moses Caicedo will cause us problems in there. It'll be interesting to see that battle between him and Tyler Adams, for example, N'Golo Yankee. I love Trossard. I think he's a top player, and he will cause us problems. I think the main concern for me is, I think Wolves tried to do it for a period of time in the second half and did have success against us. They did have success against us for around about 20 minutes. If you remember that game, they were on top of us, and then obviously Click came on and it changed the the flow of the game, and Leeds win the game 2-1. But we haven't seen a lot of players getting it on one side of the pitch. We know Leeds United will look to all be over one side. We know with the way the press works. We know Jesse's saying, well, the ball's not there, so we don't need to worry about it. And I do think, as I've mentioned, Graham Potter is very tactically astute. If he does tend to go long up to Danny Welbeck to beat the press, you will find as well, I think, if we are all compact over one side of the pitch, they will try that switch. They will try that switch and maybe get success. I think Trossard, for me, is someone we need to be really, really wary of in that respect. Solly March is no mug, but as I say, for me, Trossard is one of the standouts. Pascal Gross as well has had a great start to the season. I think he's got the same amount of goals as Rodrigo. I think Pascal Gross has. I don't know if we can. Let's have a look. So if you look here, this is Pascal Gross's stats. So 2 goals against Manchester United. Okay, not quite the same amount of goals, but 2 goals against Manchester United and an assist against Brighton against West Ham, as well. And he's sort of been a standout for them, Pascal Gross. And as I say, leading the line, of course, is Danny Welbeck, who I think it's going to be a test today for Robin Cook and Diego Llorente. Now, the Leeds lineup, according to SofaScore, looks like this, and I think it's bang on. I want to see Sinisterra come on for Daniel James at some point during the game, maybe for a longer period, for a longer amount of minutes. We've seen what he did midweek against Barnsley. It was almost shades of Samu Saiz. Who can forget when Samu Saiz, was it Port Vale he made his debut against? I can't quite remember now, but he got a hat-trick. Now, Sinisterra was involved in 3 of the goals. He scored one himself, which was a lovely strike from quite far out. He won the penalty, and he was also involved in the 3rd goal for Click, where he tried to cross it for Somerville, and it took a sort of a deflection and fell to Click's path. But for me, you can see in that short sample size just what he can bring. He was able to beat men, and I think for me, eventually Daniel James will drop to the bench and Sinisterra will come on. And I think I would like to see him given more minutes, even if that's at half time, at 50, 60 minutes, just so we can start to get him up to speed in the Premier League. But I other than that, it's going to be the same 11. I understand it. We beat Chelsea 3-0. Let's not go changing something that's, you don't change something that isn't broken, right? You don't fix something that isn't broken. So it will be unchanged, but I'd like to see Sinisterra start getting some minutes in the Premier League for sure. Now, if we go unbeaten in this game, by the way, right? If we go unbeaten in this game, it will be 4 matches, that will have been unbeaten. And that will be the first time that we'll have done that since 01-02. And in that season, we obviously finished in the European places. You know me, I look for them signs, yeah? Go 4 unbeaten, and that Europa League conference is looking sweet. Listen, do you know what as well? We did the Premier League preview last night, and I wasn't aware that the European games, all 6, need to be played before teams go to the World Cup. This season's going to be wild. This season will have shocks. Now, not only have you got European games, 6 of them, by the way, I don't know why I did that, because that's 4. All 6 of the European group stage ties, both Champions League and Europa League, need to be played before the World Cup. The World Cup's only in November. We're almost in September. I don't know how these players are going to do it. I don't know how these clubs are going to manage their squads. So not being in Europe right now is a massive plus. Like I look at someone like Newcastle, even Brighton, maybe even ourselves, if we can continue with this form that we find ourselves in. Because not only have you got the European games, you've also got the midweek Premier League games. Obviously, we play again on Tuesday against Everton. So these top sides are not only having to play weekend, midweek, you're then going to have the Champions League and Europa League games. Like, look at these Europa League games. We know if you play Thursday, Sunday, it hammers you. It does hammer you. For whatever reason, if you're in the Europa League, 9 times out of 10, you lose the next game or at least struggle. Leeds United are in Europe. We have some favourable fixtures. You just never know. Like, genuinely, you never know. Unless we won the league. I'm not saying, well, you know what I'm like. Win this game today and I'll be going, that's it. That's it. The last time we were unbeaten was back when we qualified for Europe. It's happening, baby. But yeah, no, that's get your passports out. You make sure they're in date is what I'm saying. Now, Jesse Marsch, obviously, he came out after Chelsea and said, we will always attack. And with that in mind, we have a great record away from home as well. Like, under Jesse Marsch, he has a great record away from Ellen Road. We have just 1 defeat in 6 Premier League away games. Winning 3 of them, drawing 2. So only 1 defeat on the road. Couldn't tell you who that would have been against, thinking back to last season. But 6 games, and he's only had 1 defeat. That is good. That is a good record. Jesse Marsch, as much as I threw shade at him last season, I think there's only David O'Leary that has a better win percentage than him at this moment in time, which is amazing. Obviously, I mentioned as well about us, potentially going undefeated after 4 games. If Rodrigo was to score today, he could become the first ever Leeds player to net in the opening 4 matches of a Premier League season. It's never been done before in the Premier League. Obviously, we've had some great strikers come through our football club. So if he were to net today, he'd be the first player in Leeds history to score in the opening 4 matches of a Premier League season. I mean, if he was to get that stat, that's quite the turnaround, isn't it? Quite the turnaround. And it just shows you, man, you never say never. Because I was ready to sell. I was ready to move him on. And he's really, really reacted well to the onus that's been put on him by Jesse. I was giving flack for Jesse for this leadership group last season, saying, well, we've seen a small upturn in form from Rodrigo, and then he fell off a cliff for parts. He's continued to work on him, continue to boost him. Some players need that, right? This is the thing. That's Bielsa was great, but he was not very close to his players. And sometimes some players need that man management. I guess you could look at great man managers like the likes of Harry Redknapp, etc. Them that know who to have a go at, who to put their arm around. It's a different tactic for different players. Whereas Bielsa, it was one shoe fits all. And you can see the impact, maybe this arm around and this boosting of confidence on a regular basis for Rodrigo. You can see what it has done for him in the performances. I said to you, I am a bit of a conspiracy theorist, but I said to you about the propaganda that was coming out from the football club about Rodrigo. Every single social media post was about Rodrigo. That was, for me, calculated. It was calculated because the press conference, after all this prop, he was made captain. While Bamford's out, he was made captain. We haven't seen many Rodrigo posts since, but it was all in that build-up for me. And that's how things work, right? That's cool. I don't mind it. I was just, listen, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so maybe I'm way wider than that. But we've seen a lot of Rodrigo propaganda. It was funny because I got a few, after I mentioned it, people were saying, oh, see it now? And then obviously he gets the captain, but it's obviously worked. It has obviously worked. So, and we know that Jesse takes them little increment gains. The most smallest minutiae detail that I'll put my teeth in. The most smallest minutiae detail he uses to his advantage, So it's great for him, and it's clearly worked. As Martin says, please do smash a like on the video. If you could do that for me, that would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to my channel as well, and make sure you get notifications on, because we will be live at 2:30 for Leeds versus Brighton, obviously down at the Amex. I want to remind you all as well that this video is sponsored by the legends and Leeds fans at Football Prizes, Bill at Football Prizes. Now, there's quite a very good competition available for you today. It ends tonight as well, right? It ends at 7:30 tonight. It is only £2.95 a ticket, okay? So if you're thinking I'll hedge my bets and have a bet, maybe have a go at this instead. So you can actually choose a signed shirt from either Sadio Mane, Gabriel Jesus, Raul Jimenez, or Rodrigo Moreno. Now, of course, a lot of you are going to go for Rodrigo Moreno. He's Leeds United's top scorer. He's the Premier League's top scorer. If he scores today, it'll be the first time that a Leeds United player in the Premier League has scored 4 on the bounce. So it is only £2.95 a ticket. There are only 99 tickets available. But as I said, that ends this evening. So throw your name in the hat and have a go at that. As I say, there are 9 hours left on it. There are 17 tickets sold. Like I say, it's only £2.95 a ticket. Throw yourself a tenner. Throw yourself a tenner, get 3. Do you know what I mean? But you can win a signed Rodrigo Moreno shirt, and you can see there he's even put like a little smiley face on it. And he could end up being the Premier League's top scorer. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out Football Prizes. The link to them is in the description. Bit of a hot stat for you when considering how you feel that the game might unfold. 8 of Leeds' 11 Premier League away wins recorded since we returned have seen both teams score. So if Leeds United are to win today, you would imagine it might be 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. I'm not too sure. For myself, I think we can win the game. I do think we can win the game. There's a little bit of uncertainty with me just how Jesse's tactics and how he will take on Graham Potter. I was never confident with Bielsa and Potter because, Potter had his number. This is sort of a new experience. We know Jesse obviously managed to get a point against Brighton last season on our way to survival. Pascal Struijk, remember getting that late goal after that Joffrey maze up and putting Lewis Dunk on his backside. But for me, when I watched that game, I remember being in the ground. I definitely felt some sort of drop off from Brighton in the second half. Cucurella especially, I remember he was down my side. I don't know, but they were safe. We weren't. We were fighting for relegation. It was a couple of games left to go, and that's something that can play into it. But this is a whole new season. Both teams will be fighting for the full 90 minutes for sure. I do think we can win. As I said, I doubted us after Chelsea. It wasn't something I normally do. I always felt we could get a result, but I don't know. I just felt that Chelsea would have too much for us. I doubted us. I predicted a loss. I won't do that anymore. After seeing what they did against Chelsea, admittedly, it was home and the crowd, but we battered them. They were never in the fight. Do you know what I mean? Okay, them first early stages, but other than that, we just strangled them. We never took the boot off the neck. You know what I mean? They just couldn't get out. So I will not say we won't win a game, but I'm cautious because it's Graham Potter. I'm cautious because it's down at their ground and they're unbeaten now in 5 games at home. They have netted twice or more in their previous 8 home league victories. I do think both teams will score. I don't see either team winning it. I think both teams would actually be happy with a point. I know Brighton are the home side, but I think they'd be happy with a point as well and just move on. To the next one. And we've got Everton at home. I don't want to count my chickens before us hatch, but I think we should beat Everton at home, considering the form that they're in. They're struggling for goals. They've also got the issues around Anthony Gordon, which can be unsettling. So I'd take a point and move, but I am going to go for a score draw. I think the game will be 2 apiece. And that would be a good game of football. Yeah, I think it would be a good game of football. I think the 2 teams will just blend together well. The 2 coaches will just blend together well. And I think we'll be in for a great, great game of football. We have to watch out for Danny Welbeck, which people might laugh at, but we do. He scored against us previously as well. Pascal Gross in hot form. And Trossard up against Christensen is something we need to we need to be conscious of. Christensen passed the test of Chelsea But for me, he's still like the weakest. I'm not 100% sold yet. Have another good performance against Trossard today. And you know, he takes another step. We know Adams, we know Rocker, they're both class. We know Aronson, class. Struijk now, for me, is the number one left back. Forget Firpo. I'm sorry, some of you might be fans. Struijk's been immense. He's been immense. Rodrigo's on hot form. Harrison, for me, so underrated. He should be in that next. If he's not in that next international break, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. He should be given a chance. He's shown now and proven how good he is. He was our second top scorer last season. In the season, we finished 17th. This season, he started like a house on fire. Aronson, immense. James, yeah, he's the weak link for me. And I would like to see Sinisterra start. I do think it'll be too early for him. But, yeah, we'll see. But everywhere else is good, man. Everywhere else is good. Christensen's got to remain calm when coming up against Trossard. Like I say, I think we might see Brighton go quite direct just to beat our press. Just to beat our press. And I agree with my good man Rob, who said would take a draw and win on Tuesday. And I'm just reiterating what I always said. I take that every day of the week. Get a point, move, beat Everton at home. You've got through August, undefeated. Amazing. Luke Tansley, just like I said, if we'd have beat Chelsea 4-0 last week, I would have got a Jesse Marsh tattoo. It almost happened. Listen, if James scores a hat-trick ever for Leeds, I'd probably do this. But nah, listen, if he scores a hat-trick today against Brighton, yes, I'll buy that minging grey referee orange mashup minging shirt, and I will get Dan James on the back. And I never get players on the back of my shirt. But if he was to score a hat-trick, then yes, I would do that. Yeah. Hannah says draw would be a great result. Let's get some score predictions in the chat. As I said, I'm going for 2 apiece. Jamie says 10 points from 12 would be huge, though. Imagine. We could argue as well. I mean, no crying over spilt milk, but we should have had 9. We should have had 9, really. But it wasn't to be. Tim, I was, wasn't I? They've never beaten us twice in the row, Ellen Road. I did say, I just wish I'd have listened to my own advice and backed us to win, bro. Marcus has got 2-1 Leeds. Rodders and Jack to score for us and Trossard for them because Christensen. Okay, I mean, that's fair to say. 2-1 says YouTube user. 2-0 says I love Leeds. I'm assuming that's to Leeds. Mark's got us 4-0. Yes, Rob. It's the worst Leeds kit for a long time. Listen, I'm not one of them people, and we're wearing it today, aren't we? We're actually wearing it today. I'm not one of them people like who's like, oh, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. But I seen something earlier. I'm going to share this with you. And these are our away kits, right? Under Adidas. I mean, it's not great for me because it has no sort of link to our history. The only one that I like is number 1 because that had sort of a nod to the past, but these are just wild. I mean, I've bought this, right? But the reason I probably wouldn't have gone for it, but the reason I went for it is because the home kit wasn't available. And I need to have the kit because I'm a bit of a nerd. But that's minging, man. What is that? I mean, this is very Chelsea, although it's blue. This, I bought that, and again, no, I didn't buy this because I wasn't keen. And this will be that one's this season. I'll be like, yeah, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. But that's the only one. I don't know. It's just lazy from. I've muted my mic. It's just lazy from Adidas. I think for me, Arsenal, they have the best apparel, like genuinely. They must do mad numbers because Adidas continuously make them amazing gear. Amazing gear. Kits, that black one is mint. But they make them amazing kits. They make them amazing gear, retro, tracksuits, the lot. Like genuinely, Arsenal's gear is sick. And they're Adidas as well. So it's like, come on, man. But I think you must have to hit certain numbers in order for Adidas to say, okay, we'll start looking at a more bespoke plan for you. But if you look at like Leicester and all, it's just the same gear, man. It's just the same gear. Anyway, Ben's gone 1-0 either way. Danny's going 3-3. That'd be a decent return. I'm going 2-2, mate. Martin Packer says 3-2 Leeds. We'll be happy with the draw. Same here, mate. I like the amount of respect we're giving Brighton. I think in the past we maybe didn't. In the past we didn't give Potter enough respect. I think people can see now just how good of a coach he is, just how good of a team Brighton actually are without no standout names. They have some great personnel. Tom says Brighton will come out at the doors, really aggressive. I fancy our front four to get their back free. I think Leeds will win today 2-0. I don't know, mate. I'm not sure. We'll see. Ethan says my prediction score is Brighton 1-2-0 lead, 2-1 lead. Sorry, Rodrigo goal and Jack Harrison goal and Welbeck to score. That's fair enough. Freddie says I think it's 3-1 Leeds. Jesse has Potter's number. Based on what? Based on what? They've had one game and had one apiece. Nick says 2-1 Leeds. Rodrigo 89th minute winner. That would go sweet. Hannah says 0-0 or 1-1. I can't pick between them. Draw. I think both will score. I do think it'll be a score draw. Blame Shea for number 9. What do you mean? What are we saying? 3-1 Leeds, 2-1 Leeds, Brighton 2 Leeds 3. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Graham doesn't get involved. Don't believe the hype, bro. You have no influence whatsoever. That used to happen a lot in the comments on my videos. It's your fault. I'm not like picking the team, telling the lads, you know what I mean? Yeah, orange socks as well, bro. Ugh. Bad, isn't it? Yeah, let's have a look. What more? One is the best. We're all talking about the kit, aren't we? It's all a bit of a madness in it, but there you go. Right, okay. Well, 400 people watching. That's absolutely amazing. Please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already. We've got 142 likes. Let's get that up to 200 ASAP if we can. Remember, as I say, we'll be doing a watch along later on 2:30. I will be going live. We can go through the lineups and all that sort of stuff. But like I say, it's going to be a tough game. I'm really interested to see how Graham Potter tries to deal with Jesse Marsh's football. And remember as well, folks, before I do head off, that today's video, and is always the case on the watch-alongs, is sponsored by Football Prizes. And the main prize they've got today, which is ending today, it's ending tonight, and it'll be drawn on Monday at 8:30. You can win a Rodrigo Moreno signed Leeds United shirt. Only £2.95 a ticket as well, by the way. 8 hours left on that. So if you want to get involved, please do. Let's see if we've had any uptake. We've had one. One of you has probably bought one. So big up to you, yeah, because it massively helps the channel as well. So yeah, they sponsor me. It helps improve the content and all that sort of stuff. But thank you very much. Harmony says she would like to see Coops and Cine in today from the start. Not for me. I don't think you can change anything that is broken. I don't think Cooper will start. And to be honest, as much as I like Cooper, I don't want him to. I want continuity at the back. And I've actually been impressed with Koch and Llorente as a partnership. Leave them be for me. Leave them be. Cooper will have a part to play, potentially in the Cups, coming on later on when we need to show things up. But for me, you keep a settled back for. And he only played 45, so maybe not ready. As for Sinisterra, I would like to see him as well, but I don't think let's not change anything that isn't broken. I think there will come a time where James does come out of the side door and Sinisterra starts for sure. I'd be looking to give him more minutes as the weeks go on. So for me, maybe bring him on for 30, then you're playing him 45 minutes. I mean, if James is having a stinker or anyone's having a stinker, then just change it whenever. You know, it doesn't matter. I like that. That when coaches do that, you're having a stinker, you're coming off. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to give you all of this treatment of, oh, we'll give you till the half time or whatever. If you're having a stinker, you're having a stinker. But yeah, Cine looked naughty. Involved in 3 goals. Admittedly, it is only Barnsley, but Samuel Saï's got an hat-trick in, I think it was Port Vale, and he bossed it in that championship. So why can't Cine do the same? You know? Why can't Cine do the same? But yeah, I think I will leave it there. Thank you very much for the for joining me on your preview. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be live at 2:30 for your Leeds versus Brighton watch along. Thanks as always for watching. And I'll see you at 2:30 hopefully. And hopefully Leeds United can remain undefeated. We can win the game, but I'd take a point every day of the week with a view to getting 3 at home against Everton. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you.